Hello, everyone. Welcome to Twillow Talk. I'm Tanis Coughlin from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy. I am joined by my beautiful co-host, Jennifer Jurkofsky. Hey, Jen.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome, because we have Maryanne Savino. Hey, Maryanne.
Thanks for inviting me. This is exciting.
Oh, we're so thrilled to have you. So we're going to do a little bit of an intro for Maryanne. We'll have her tell us who she is and what she does, and then we'll do our usual forecasting.
Love it.
Maryanne.
I'm Maryanne Savino. I'm a starseed empath. Aren't we all? So I've been in the metaphysical world, seeking and learning and exploring for over 3 decades. I started kind of early in life questioning and seeking answers to why some things happen to us. So I started to really delve into spirituality and began studying many different types of healing modalities, and anything from sound vibrational healing to movement therapies and crystal healing, channeling. Very fascinated with ET contact and paranormal when I was younger as well. And a lot of it I didn't really understand so much from the child's perspective, but I knew I felt something. And as I started delving in deeper, I started asking for answers to spirit world. And then I, opened to channel and realized that, okay, there's a lot more going on here than what we're told. So I love to connect with other, soul tribe and share with everyone. And I love to hear other people's stories. And so, yeah, that's why I'm here. I have a website with a lot more information on it. We can share that later or something at the end, or put it in the chat.
It's down below. Down below. Yep.
Am I on the right side this time?
Yes, that's Facebook. Yep. Her Facebook is just below there, but her website and everything is also in the comments. So you can, or not in the comments, in the blurb there beneath. So you can take a look there. And so very exciting. Lots happening on the ET front, for sure. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. So we were just talking before the show about our energy update, because pretty wild the last little bit. Let's say hello to a few people first. So we've got Kaylee here. Hello, Kaylee. And we have Hypnocity. Hey, Hypnocity. And Barbara. Hello. Oh, here's the one. The official. From Kaylee. Apparently she's supervising, so that's cool. Catherine is her mom, and she's busy packing. And we have Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan.
Hi.
Nice to see you. And Janet Lee from Arizona. Hello.
I love Arizona.
So welcome to all of you, and please feel free to jump in and let us know what's happening for you in terms of what is the energy update. So I opened up our handy stuff here. You can see here that we just had this X class right here, X2, and over the weekend we had an X7. Late last week, we had an X9, one of the largest we've had in a very long time, the X9. So that was, I'm not sure which day that was. Was that Friday? Might have been Friday, Thursday, Friday.
I think it was Thursday or Friday.
Yeah. And then the other one was Saturday, I think. So we had like 2 right back to back, which was intense. And here we are again with one today. So we get a lot of these like little C's, we get the odd M's, but over the weekend we even had like M after M after M in terms of the class of solar flares. So this is energy that's coming out of the sun, which is, part of our downloads. It's all part of us shifting into the higher vibration. So, it's happening for us, not to us. But
it doesn't always feel that way, but that's okay.
It feels like it's to us, yes. So and our Schumann is up at 50 today. So it was actually pretty low yesterday, like around 10. Today it's up higher again, the solar flares and all of that. So that would be what's happening in the solar energy, earth energy stuff.
We also had a geostorm at a KP6 earlier.
Yes.
It may have come down. I'm not really sure, but it was KP6.
Yes, I did notice that earlier. Yeah, it does say that here. I think that's the KP6. Yeah, that was today. Earlier today, because I was looking because we were having some internet issues. And I wondered if that was it.
That X flare is still going too, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're still at KP6.
We are. Yeah.
Yeah, we are at KP6.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah. Hold on to the ride, folks. Hold on to your hats for the ride.
Buckle up.
Exactly.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, yes, last week I actually almost did like I'm just checking in with everybody moment, because last week was really a kick you in the butt kind of week. At least I found it was for me, and it was for so many of people I was working with. And, just to say, like, hold on, we're coming through it.
It's okay.
It's going to shift. And for me, I really felt the shift. Today we changed from one transit to the other. And the transit that we moved into today is one that I have in my chart in both my design and my personality side. So it's like a
oh, good
kind of moment for me, because it's like nothing is shifting now in my design. It's like, okay, this is energy I'm used to. I'm used to, like, riding these waves. So notice that too. Like if we're doing a transit and it's one that is just normal to your chart, the energy is going to be like, oh, okay, I know this one. We're good. Whereas last week we were in one that completed a channel for me. Whole different energy I was working with. Okay, guys, this is just this is a lot.
Ground, breathe, self-care.
Okay, I need to sleep more. Why can't I sleep? Anyway.
Oh, well, we have somebody here that's having that today, actually. So Janet Lee is having that.
Yeah. Well, and it's an interesting energy, right? So we just moved into the 57, and the 57, we're going to be in this energy now from, today through until Sunday. And this energy, it's the archetype of the intuitive, but the shadow aspect of this energy is unease. Right. So noticing that, like if we're coming into this kind of victimhood of indecision, if we're finding that we're being really hesitant or maybe a little impetuous, like just notice the pull for that energy. Right. Because the frequency for the 57, when it's in the shadow place, when we're meeting it there, we're meeting it in the fear frequency. Right. And so for the 57, it's a very acoustic gate. And I noticed this in my own life, like the connection between unease and noise is like a lot for me. If things are too loud, if things are too chaotic, my whole body shifts, my nervous system kicks in, I go right into a reactive state. And I'm like, okay, I got to calm this down because it's too much. Right. And so, the 57 being in the spleen, it's about safety, it's about survival. And so the energy really is such that we have to notice what's happening inside of us, and what is going on in terms of where we're being pulled, right? It's interesting. Like we talk about sound and all of the shadow states that we talk about are in this fear frequency in some way. And it's really interesting because, we talk about energy and stuff like that and how we can, raise vibrations and all. But collectively as a human race, we often are operating in this fear frequency. Yes. And if we're not consciously aware of what's happening, we're all little tuning forks within ourselves. And so if we're not conscious about it, that pressure, right, the collective pressure to resonate in that space is really, really strong. Yeah. Right. And so we have to be quite mindful of what is pulling us and how that's feeling for us. I normally show you guys the card, and I didn't yet, so here it is. The gate of the 7.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, isn't it great?
Yeah.
And it really helps us understand the energy of it from like the I Ching, right? Because it's the insight, it's the intuitive insight, and it's the gentle. It's really interesting, right? I don't often talk about it, but the I Ching here you can see with the hexagram, it's wind over wind, right? So it's very much the wind energy. And Richard Rudd in the Gene Keys actually talks about this, and what he says is really powerful, right? He said, when seen from the shadow consciousness, wind can be brutal, even terrifying. I mean, you think about what's happening with storms and everything right now, right? Uprooting and destroying wherever it goes. And so when the wind is up, it often conveys a sense of unease, right? And the 57th shadow, he says, represents a very deep and ancient fear, the fear of what might be coming, right? Not knowing what is in the wind.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
That's a fear.
Yeah. And so notice that, and notice how that might be showing up for you as you're moving through this energy. And if it does, right, this is where we want to take that step back, take that deep breath, right? And recognize that if we can step into the gift energy of this, we're going to start listening to the intuition, right? We're going to be able to quiet the fear and go, okay, what is my intuition telling me? What is it that I really, want to listen to in my body, not what the mind is going to continually kind of play over, right? And so we actually, by working on our intuition, by working on listening to it each step of the way, we actually raise our frequency in the energetic field by doing that, right? And by stepping into intuitive knowing and allowing ourselves to move towards the gift of clarity, or the siddhi of clarity, right? And so through this time, if you notice, okay, I'm really feeling like fear, I'm feeling caught up in this shadow of unease, I'm not allowing myself to really calm. Great time to do some meditation, great time to step into a practice that works for you, that's going to help you tap into your intuition, right? And work through that fear. And in doing so, it's quite amazing what comes.
For sure. And Hypnocity is saying, is that why my automatic writing is picking up again? Because of the intuition? I would say yes. I've noticed my channeling. I channeled yesterday for one of my classes, and it was like big energy coming in for it. So yeah, for sure. Big hello to Jen of Joyful Journey. Hey, Jen. Welcome. And Janet Lee says, wow, interesting. That's awesome. So what are you feeling, Maryanne, with all of this? You've got some news from our friends, I believe.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I really like where this is going, because I think you're right about the collective fear, and it's then triggering our own fears. And, I'm finding what is this fear about? Like, can I sit with that and ask it, what is it that you're trying to get to me? What is it that I need to know about you, rather than try to avoid it and escape it? And yet you don't want to wallow in it. It's like, how about I kind of go inside and ask the fear, what is it that you need from me? What can I do? I've been finding myself doing that quite a bit lately. I think it's a really good practice, because rather than escape it or wallow in it, we create a space where we're observing it, and then ask the question, what are you doing here? What do I need to know? Because I think, this thing about, I've heard what's the opposite of fear? Like, what's the opposite of love? Love and fear. But, fear is a human emotion, right? It's a human, and we're human.
We're supposed to have emotions.
And when I hear that term, negative emotions, I think, but are emotions really negative, or is the thoughts about them that we can create the negativity.
Yeah.
So I'm finding that, yeah, the thought processes, the beliefs, the programming, the patterns can be negative. But if I'm fearful because I got a diagnosis, or if I'm angry because somebody really hurt me, I have to let myself have that process of it and sit with it and ask it, what are you showing up here for? I'm really hurting. It's like, can I sit with that before rushing off and saying, oh no, let's do something positive?
Yeah. We've talked about that on the show a fair bit, like that, we are here to experience those emotions and whatever that may be. And we can also look at them as the silent observer. Jen talks about that a lot. And being the observer means that we have a little bit more distance from it in order to be able to process it in a more productive way than we might otherwise.
I totally get that. I really feel that that's important. That space, creating the space inside. So if the fear does show up, that I don't just kick it out the door. It doesn't have to become my best roommate and friend all the time, but there has to be some space allowing us, a space for it when it does show up. Any emotion, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
And having that as part of our self-care routine is important, right? Allowing yourself regular time spaces to process emotion in whatever way that comes up for us.
Because we're human. We're meant to, our souls come in because they want to have these experiences. So to say, oh no, don't do that, don't cry, or just like, no, I need to cry.
Yes.
And my soul is like, yeah, cry, like,
go for it, girl, you go for it.
When we're back at source, we're not having these experiences. We're having different experiences. So we're human, it's like, can I let myself be human and be okay with whatever shows up?
Yeah. And I love, and I know I've shared it so many times, Rumi's Guest House, but that idea of shows up, right? These emotions, they come, they go, they pass through us. They only stick around if we hold on to them.
Yeah.
Right. And so being able to recognize that they come and go, that observer piece is really about, that I'm not these feelings. I'm just experiencing these feelings.
I'm a human being having an experience of feelings, and
yeah.
I come back into my body, because I think with the trauma, with fear or anger or sadness, we then want to leave our bodies because it's too painful or scary. Yeah. And it's understandable, especially if it's happened to us in childhood, because the child is now vulnerable and doesn't know what to do. But I say, well, can I come back into my body, even if it's ever so slightly, and just for a moment feel where that pain is? Like, where am I feeling the anger? Is it in my throat? Where am I feeling it? Can I just come back into my body and honor that I have this incredible human vessel that gives my soul a chance to have the experience here? If we don't take care of that, then what?
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and it's so interesting because with this particular gene key, one of the things that Richard talks about is in the womb, we're already susceptible to collective fear, right? Because it comes through mom right into us. And so there is no escaping it or getting away from it or not having it in our experience. And so the more accepting that we are of the fact that we are going to ebb and flow through this energy, the more we're going to actually have the ability to navigate it.
Well, it's funny you brought up the womb, because I studied to be a womb priestess for a while.
Awesome.
And I asked my mom, I was lucky, I was fortunate enough to be able to have a conversation with her before she passed away about what was going on with her when I was gestating in her womb. And boy, it explained so much about what's going on with me and my illnesses and my, destructive patterns. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, not to blame her because she didn't know any better.
Right.
But it's true. Whatever is gestating in there with us in their thoughts, the baby gets it. And if we don't work on releasing that, because it's not mine, it was hers.
Yeah.
You know, and,
Yeah.
and even though I understand she didn't do it intentionally, she didn't know any better. I don't think, you know, that generation, they just weren't taught what we're doing out here now.
Yeah.
I think that, you know, going back to the womb of when you were gestating, you can do what's called a total womb, you know, rebirth, where you are birthed out of your mother's womb at the time of your physical birth, and you now dive into Gaia's womb. You let Gaia take you and embrace you and help you to release whatever programs and patterns that your mom and your grandmother and your great grandmother, they didn't know, and even your paternal, you know, it's all, and then you now birth out of Gaia's womb and you leave the rest of that because it's not ours.
Yeah, I love that. Full chills, goosebumps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
You know, and we have to take responsibility for our own challenges and struggle and, you know, whatever.
For sure.
You know, it's not for us to take on our lineage.
No, and that's part of what we've come here really to do, right? We talk about what we're here for, and we're here to have an experience, and that experience is healing, right?
Yeah,
generations, lifetimes, all of that.
And this particular generation, or this particular time that we're here on Earth, is it seems as though it's quite accelerated in needing to really, you know, heal some of the generational stuff versus some of the earlier generations of people, right? Because of the ascension process, we need to sort of manage all of the energy that we've had over the generations before and move into a new way of looking at things and dealing with the energy.
I so feel that.
It's interesting that you brought up the womb, because I have a book, Metaphysical Anatomy. It's like a huge, thick book, but they talk in there a lot about how our illnesses or the things that are happening with our body are related to, and they go back as far as womb stuff with mom when they're looking at some of those illnesses and stuff. So it's a great book, Metaphysical Anatomy. I don't have the name of the person, but off the top of my head, it's somebody Rose, but yeah, very cool. And Annie says she's reading a book right now, The Well-Lived Life. She's a doctor that looks at them on a whole rather than just the diseze. So, hey, Annie.
Wow, she's 103 years old. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Holy moly, that is awesome.
Exactly. Oh, we just had another X class. Awesome.
Bring it on, man.
Let's do this.
Riding waves.
Let's do this, and we'll see where we're at. I'm just refreshing our little page here. Yep. Yeah, wow. We had X1.2 or 0.02.
Clear out more stuff while these flares are coming at us.
Definitely. They're helping us to do that, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
And it is a beautiful time to follow that intuition.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I feeling? Where am I feeling it right now? Oh, I'm feeling it right here. Okay, what do I carry here? Oh, I carry my stress here. Got it. Okay, what do I want to do, to release this, right? And just allowing yourself to really go through and see where it brings you.
I'm just looking at Janet Lee talking about her mom and
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, therapy is amazing. And yeah, I mean, sometimes we need all kinds of, whether it's traditional therapy to somatic therapy to metaphysical.
Yeah.
I mean, we're physical beings, but we're also beings of light. Yeah. And you can't just treat one and not treat the other. It's a whole spectrum, the multi-dimensional, even the third dimensional parts of us. And I know I hear tons of people, we're no longer in 3D.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. It's our consciousness that's rising.
Exactly. I understand where they're coming from with that, because I used to say that, and then I realized, wait a minute, that's not correct, because we are not who we used to be. So 3D feels very different, very foreign to us, but it does still exist. And it has to, at least for now. We don't know when we're going to be finished with it. We may not see it in this lifetime, but I think when we look at that multi-dimensionality, that includes 3D. We have to bring all of it in together in the wholeness of treating whatever is out of balance in us, whether it be a physical or an energetic imbalance. It's usually connected anyway.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's it. And the reality is, as long as we're in this form, we're in the 3D to some degree, because this form is part of the 3D. It's our bioform for the 3D. That's what we came in here with. Right. And so we can't suddenly neglect that.
Well, it's an abandonment. It's another form of, I'm going to abandon my 3D because I don't like the way it feels. Well,
yeah,
I agree. But I don't want to feel that. It's too painful, or I've had enough. How many more years am I going to go on with that? But it's part of us. It's like shadow. You can't kick your shadow out.
That's right.
No, you wouldn't know the light without it. So it's like, can we bring it all together and balance it out so it can cope? We work as a whole.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, even the extra dimensional beings, they work at multi-levels. Mm-hmm. Right?
Let's talk about the ET.
Please, because you've got some stuff happening. You've got some stuff you're bringing through. I want to hear.
The ETs, it's like, I did not have what I can't remember. I mean, who knows if it did, but I don't recall being, I don't even like to use that word abducted, because it's not an abduction so much. I did have experiences with both angels and galactics when I was very little. It started, the angel was the first one when I was almost, I would say it was around 3 or 4 years of age. And it was after my father his life was taken from him when I was 6 years of age. And his death, because it was tragic, was the catalyst for my journey here with spirit on Mother Earth. And so my first experience was having an angel come to me. And when she came, it was a female energy. I could feel it. She didn't so much, she had the aura of the feminine, but it was clear to me that there was a female presence there. And to tell me that it's going to be okay, that, I was frightened. I was scared a lot as a child, and who wouldn't be, right? Mm-hmm. So after I had that experience, I then had an experience of meeting my dad in a dream state. And I'm giving the shorter versions because I don't want to waste too much time, but from the angel to my dad, and in the dream state or the dimension, because I really know that this could not have just been, or what is a dream, really,
Yeah. Astral travel, really?
Yeah. I know I was with him because when I came out of it, I had my hand out to stop him from leaving. I tried to grab him, and I was shaking, and I was nauseous, and it was summer. It was August. I'm like, the air conditioner's not on. Why am I so cold?
Yeah.
It sort of reminded me of if you've ever done a shamanic journey, when you go into the other worlds and you come out and you're really cold from it because you've entered. That's what it reminded me of. So going from the angel to dad, I now have visitations with Arcturians. I see.
Have you met Rigus?
Who?
Rigus.
Have I?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I'll introduce you to Rigus.
Okay.
He's my Arcturian guide.
Definitely meet him for sure.
Sometimes they come in and meet more than one person. I was interviewing Kevin Briggs today for another podcast, and he has met he works with a council of 8 or something.
Okay.
And there's 3 or 4 of them that actually work with the same guides. So I was curious. I just had to ask because of that today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. So let's hear about your guide.
So what happened to me after the angel, then dad, I'm in this very unusual looking neighborhood. It was nighttime, and I remember looking up and seeing the moon really bright, thinking, where on earth am I? This is a strange place. Why am I walking here alone? Where am I? I look over, something prompted me to look over to the right, and I see a tram. And I'm thinking, what is a tram doing in this like residential neighborhood? So I look over and I decide to, hang a right. I could feel the wind on my skin. That's how real this was.
Wow.
I walk over and I see, it's like a Lamborghini. The door opens like this. And I hear, get in. And I'm like, oh my God, where am I going? I'm like, I was really like very like, ooh, I don't know. Like,
who is this?
Shut the door. And I'm like, where are you taking me? And so the next thing I know, it was very strange. I see a console in front of me and I start pushing buttons and there's a lever. And I'm like, how am I doing this? I don't even know how. So I'm going up and here's this tram and I'm going up and I turn around behind me and I could see myself going further up. And when I looked ahead, I saw stars. And then I turned back around and I saw the earth behind me.
Oh, wow.
Okay, what is happening to me? So I see this strange looking, like, not a hole in it, but like something that you could put your hand through. So of course, when I was a kid, everything they told me not to do. Oh, what's this? Don't touch it. Okay. So I decide to stick my hand through it and I could feel the stars on the tips of my fingers. I started feeling, and I pulled my hand back in and I look over to my right and there are two Arcturians to the right of me outside of the pot. And they started waving at me and they were speaking and I could see codes coming out of them. And I thought, what is happening to me? And everything that I was, the console, it's like, how do I know how to do this? Well, it was obviously a memory.
Mm-hmm.
It was memory. And the next thing I know, I open my eyes and I'm in my bed. And I'm shaking again. It was that same kind of feeling with the experience with my dad, because the angel experience was not in the sleep state. That was the waking state. But this was a very similar, shaking, cold, and I started getting nauseated and I started crying. And I remember saying, what am I doing here? Why am I on the earth plane? And where was that? And all I could hear is, it's all inside if you're willing to go in and listen. And so I was in my 20s when that happened. And now I'm 59. And from that time, of course, I had, I got really deep into like ancient aliens. And I was like going to all these conferences and meditating and asking, for the beings to come in, and started to learn about star seeds and what is a star seed and, what is this whole thing about the galactics. And I remember reading about Star of Origin. And the first experience I had, which I thought was my Star of Origin, was Pleiadian. And yet what came to me many years later, not at that time, is that our true Star of Origin is Source. As star seeds, we come from Source originally. At least this is, of course, my belief. Whatever I say, take what resonates, throw the rest away, because I'm not going to push. I'm just sharing, of course, from my experience. And so I said, okay, so we come from Source. I come from Source. And what is this about these galactics, this Pleiadian? What is the Pleiades? And I started, of course, searching. Barbara Marciniak was one of the channels for the Pleiades. And I started reading her books when they came out and thought, wow, this really feels interesting. But there was something missing and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. Then I came across someone telling me about the Syrians. And I'm like, well, you mean from Syria? They're like, no, these are galactics. I'm like, well, I want to know more about this. So I go from the Pleiades to Ceres, to Orion, to Andromeda. And then I was seeing something with Arcturus and Lyra. When I got to Arcturus, I started to sob. I said, I don't know why I'm crying. And all I could feel was because this is home.
Mhm.
It was a place for you that felt like home.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but what about all the others? Like, where's my origin? And they said, well, origin is source. And you had experiences grow your soul on these other constellations, on these star systems, because it's what your soul wanted. So yes, you may feel more of a connection to one particular star system or a few. My sense is a lot, especially a lot of the old souls, I'm sure we've had more than one incarnation. And it wasn't just, maybe even several incarnations on the same star system.
Yeah.
So one of the things that came through a couple of years ago is that in my meditation, I heard, oh, you're going from being a star seed to a star blossom in this ascension journey. And I thought, oh, that's an interesting way to look at it, because the more I looked at it, I said, yeah, because we are divine sparks of source it lives inside of us. And so, yes, so from a star seed, and the seed, of course, is always within. It doesn't ever leave, even if we blossom open. And we are blossoming during this journey. It may not always be so easy, especially when we're having, X-class flares popping out of us.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but it's fascinating because we're here for the journey. Whatever that journey is for each of us, we're here for it. And I could give myself a hard time and say, oh, why did I let that happen? Or why didn't I learn this lesson? And why didn't I do this? And whatever. I realized, leave it alone. Just when it sucks, enjoy the journey. Just let it be what it is. Because I would drive myself crazy. Am I not doing something? Did I not get it right? No. If we ever doubt ourselves, just say no, it's all in divine order. And even if it is something that I don't like or something that's unpleasant, I'll say, okay, whatever it is, it'll be revealed to me as I need to know.
It's about that trust, right? Trusting in source and the plan, and
Absolutely.
what contracts we've made for ourselves as a soul, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I do appreciate, all of the galactic cosmic energies, the angels, and as humans, we're in this human life and this earthly life, and I say, earlier on, I used to find myself fascinated with past lives. I wanted to do everything about past lives. I want to know about that life, and then I got exhausted. I said, this is exhausting me. Can't I just be here now? And I was like, that's it. Be here now.
Yeah.
It's okay that you're interested in your past lives, and that maybe there were things that weren't cleared from there that now have seeped into this life. But I'm learning more and more and realizing more and more that whatever happened in the past that didn't get healed, it's okay, because I'm in a new life and I'm living my life, and I'm here for the journey, and I'm here to explore and uncover whatever needs to be revealed to me. It took a lot of pressure off me. That feeling, like you said, can I just trust it? Can I trust that it's all in divine order, even when it doesn't feel like it?
Yeah, that's the big part of it, right? And I know for me, the past life, like the visuals or whatever that I have needed to heal, have come in divine timing, at the exact moment that I needed it, and when I needed to deal with it in order to move forward with something else in this life. And I think you've had the same, Jen? We were, so Jen is Lyran. She was Lyran at one point. And that was a big lifetime for her. So
huge. And it's fascinating because, in that same way, things come as they're meant to, when they're meant to, for us to heal them along, our journey. And it's really beautiful. And we can't rush that, and we can't go out and try to, again, the mind, right? The mind wants to do it all, resolve it all, figure it all out, get all the bits and pieces, but all of the bits and pieces don't actually serve us, right? And we've talked about this when we've talked about past lives and all before is, what do we have that information for? If it isn't something that we're meant to do in this lifetime with it, what purpose does it serve? Right. And so for us to go and try to get all the answers or figure out all of the things, it can be very distracting. Right. And the mind loves to play with all of that. It loves to know, I did this and I did that and all of that. But if it doesn't serve what I'm here to do, then it actually isn't beneficial for me in this moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I totally agree with that. It's like, it's nosy and it wants all these details and it starts to question everything. And then I'm saying, but the soul knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's okay. We're human. The mind is going to question things. But if I don't know the answer, it's like I said, just leave it. It'll be what it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jonathan says, I'm all about past life work. I think my path in this life is helping others heal that connection with past lives so that we can heal and access our talents and skills practiced over many lifetimes. And I do think that is a good point, right? There is that remembering of what we've done, the remembering of some of the skills and abilities and whatnot that we bring forward from past lives to this one. I think that tuning into the energy and the frequency of those past lives can help us to bring that remembering forward. Much like the dream that you had, Maryanne, where you were all of a sudden doing something and you didn't know why you could do it. I mean, I've had experiences with that, like in awake time, conscious time, where I'm doing something and I'm like, I don't know why I'm doing it this way, but I'm just going to do it this way. And sometimes I'm being told and I can tell the difference. Other times I'm just doing it automatically. And sure enough, shortly after that, I get a remembering of some kind about, oh, I used to do that in this life. That's why it was so accessible.
Now, right? How can I take that past life remembrance and use it now? And at the same time, can I learn something new or gain some other knowledge to add to my Akashic records? Because I think you're right. I think it's like an infinity. What's from the past brings it into this moment of now, but then we move forward and create something new. Because I think it would be boring. Not, it's like the two go together. There's a definite connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think when we bring knowledge from past lives, sometimes we don't have, like, example, if we had a past life, like our last past life, and we had a past life 3 times ago, even this past life, the closer past life, we don't necessarily remember the stuff from 3 times before. But if this life we choose to remember both of those, that's where we can get that real synergy, right? We're bringing the knowledge from all of them forward. And we don't always get the opportunity to do that, I don't think, in all of our lifetimes. So when we do have the opportunity, it's kind of exciting.
That makes sense. It's kind of,
and I think that's the difference too, in terms of like what comes for us and what's meant for us and what we're seeking out, right? Like when we're talking about, what's not there for us or what's not beneficial for us, it's when we're trying to seek out all of this information. It's very, very different than tapping into what is going to move us along in this journey.
Yeah, exactly. Or, sometimes the energy, say, of that past life, for instance, the first past, the one just before this, that one might not hold enough frequency in that lifetime for this, the knowing that we're bringing in now, but it still weaves into it, right?
Definitely. I feel that. I have a lot of appreciation for my past lives, especially when, my Egyptian lifetimes. I learned a lot.
That's where we know each other from.
In this lifetime, I've studied a number of sacred dances from the ancient temples from different cultures. And what was interesting about it, I said, I've done this before. I know this. And yet, like, I'm not sure if I'm moving right. And the teacher's like, no, it's not about right. you know, it's like, I'm remembering this. So there is a definite benefit to certain things, like the past life stuff that feels good to us. The stuff that doesn't feel so good to us, I could do without. But of course, if it's going to show up, I have a choice to face it or, you know, run away from it. And that, you know, that doesn't work either. So, but I'm also very excited about creating something new, because right now I also feel with the current energies, we're in this very powerful creational energy of creating new.
Yes.
Even if we're creating new from our past life, if that makes any sense. Like we pull from that past life, but now in this moment, in this time, we get to use the gifts and create something new. A new way of being.
Yeah. Could be a past life gift, but it's being used in the new frequencies of the new earth.
Exactly, because we are in a new frequency.
Yeah, exactly. And Jonathan says, just like ancestors gave us more than just wounds, but ancestral gifts, our past lives have more than negative patterns to give us. They can help us with the skills we're still using in this life.
Beautiful.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's quite a fun thing to delve into, the past lives. And just even if it is whenever I go in, I always ask, what do I need to know? Show me a life, what I need to know for now, right? When I go. So that way I know that I'm going to get only like sort of the pertinent information. So, now you also do a lot of light language, Maryanne.
Yeah, codes of light, language of the soul. I actually speak it, write it, move it. You know, there's so many ways to utilize it. Not everyone do it the same way. Like some people like to speak it. Some people have a terrible fear of speaking. Past life, work on that birth chakra. You know, and it's like,
sure.
I would like to paint it more. I have trouble with painting. Writing seems to be better. Of course, my own past life issues. I work on that painting. But yeah, I actually,
Jonathan says embody it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why for me, the movement part of it, I really love it. And with the movement, I bring in the voice as well, because I feel like it's not separate.
Yeah.
We are an instrument, and we get to explore it and experience it and express it in many ways. So why not? Exciting.
Yeah.
Right back to that tuning fork idea.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
We tune in and then we vibrate with it. And that has to come out, and you know, that can come out in so many different beautiful ways.
I just got a new wonderful set of tuning forks, and they're Lemurian frequency.
Oh, nice.
4 forks that came together, and I started to use them, and I said to myself as I was first, you know, in the listening part, because it doesn't just come into the auditory.
No.
It goes way beyond the auditory, but of course our ears, you know, they're pretty incredible. They're pretty powerful. And I agree. It's like the moment I activated and tapped the forks, I could feel the vibration of my body was vibrating, because like you said, we are human tuning forks.
We are. Apparently there's something about that for me. I'm going to need to look into that, because I'm getting tingles on my head. Someone's trying to get my attention. I'm like,
I was hoping they were going to come in the body tuners. The body tuners have the little circle. You can actually put it onto a specific area. He hasn't. This is from Jonathan Goldman. He hasn't made them. I'm hoping he will. But these are just the brain tuners. But they're still really, really powerful. And boy, because I have a strong connection to Lemuria. So I said, talking about past lives, I wasn't looking for these forks. I didn't even know they existed. And I was looking for something online and it just popped up. And I'm like, oh, what's that? And I'm like, that's for me. And I ordered it.
Some of the best things I've had have come up online like that. Classes or workshops. Yeah.
Plus, in that moment, just knowing.
The knowing, for sure. Yeah.
Now, could I offer a light language transmission?
I would love that. Yeah, please.
Let's what is this for? Let me ask. Oh, in light of all the flares and solar energies and Schumann, this is for restoration, to restore and recalibrate our entire axiotonal system, which connects to the greater cosmic lattice of the universe, and it affects, through the meridians, through the chakras, through the auric field, the nadia lines, all of that connecting. So there's like a restoration that will come in to assist us. And all you have to do is receive it. If you feel that you don't want to receive it, that's okay too. This is coming from my heart to yours, and I'm getting a lot of galactics and angelics here, as well as Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia is actually the Earth Star chakra beneath us is also going to help with this transmission, to keep us not only grounded, but it's like a fountain of light funneling out to expand, is what they're telling you. So Yara sunderi shila sukoteria mashuma. Vera sat ari a cuore shakwase aira. Kalule ala noje koi. Sirato vera satara. Marish ala sona. Kori ashela yuso I ke isha mamoya rai. Oi ke asato she se sui shi ki sisan urita. Aluri arivat atvat kapkasea. Vat kapsatsasu I shelaya notoi I amono shaya. Shikatai shikatai. Ooh, a lot of Ontarians. Anushkarya sanoma ariat arivishala ishtal arokosona kasuri arivat imiaranone meshuloi akumaoi vishki sai kishada ishkishada kishate kiara. Lyran beings, Korishi, ai, she. Remember to breathe. Remember to ground. Be gentle with yourselves. Rest your minds and bodies. Feel the feelings. Allow the joy. Be in the presence of your beautiful soul aligning with Mother Earth, as well as the cosmic lattice, all connecting as one unity consciousness. In the name of the divine, in the name of Mother, Father, God, in the name of Source, we are love. And so it is, and so it is, and so it is. Tap your body, tap the top of your head, tap your shoulders, rub your hands.
Beautiful.
Drink a lot of water.
And so it is.
So it is.
All 9 chakras are tingling. Yes. Light language, answering in my own light language and hand gestures. Beautiful. You guys are having like a conversation going on. Hypnocity says tingles down my spine. Absolutely.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Jack.
Mhm.
Jack says, oh my.
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I was feeling it like before you even got into it. I'm like, I was like feeling all the love coming out. I'm like, oh, hi.
Mhm.
Hi, guys. It was beautiful.
That felt very, it's amazing. I mean, it always feels different, but there was something new about that one. And they are all new, but yet, I don't know, try again, if we can't comprehend here, it's an experience. I hope everyone had a wonderful experience.
It's
It was
beautiful.
absolutely wonderful.
It was heart opening for me, Maryanne. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That feel good.
Yeah, beautiful.
Even the dog came running, and normally if there's sounds that are different or whatever, it'll be barking and all of that, and she came and actually just laid down next to me to be in it and to receive it. So I thought that was
Nice.
quite beautiful.
Awesome. Janet says, my back feels like it's breathing fresh air now.
Wow.
Oh, yay.
Beautiful. Those back chakras opening up.
Mm.
Well, he knew he had to be here for this live. Now I know why.
Awesome.
Awesome.
So grateful. Thank you both for inviting me to be here, and to everyone out there watching and who will watch later. I'm so grateful. Thank you all. This was a beautiful blessing and sharing.
Yeah, it's such an honor to have you, Maryanne. Really beautiful. Thank you so much.
So honored. Thank you both so much for your beautiful, beautiful hearts, and
Thank you.
we are in some incredibly interesting times.
Transformational. Yeah.
Wow, we're really doing this.
I think all of our higher selves are out there going, we're doing it. We're doing it. Look. We talked about this. We're doing it.
Happening.
Look what we're doing. So we need to celebrate that.
Oh, yeah.
Janet Lee loves the laughs. Absolutely. We got to laugh. It helps raise the vibration, relieve stress.
Such good medicine. It changes the whole molecular structure and everything. It's important.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So we always send people home with some home play, we call it. Okay. I don't like calling it homework, so it's home play. Jen has cards that she picks that gives a little bit of a little snapshot, and it's always very indicative. So what have we got today, Jen, from our set?
Yeah, well, actually, 2 cards fell out today.
Okay.
I find that interesting. Let's, and of course, they're phenomenal. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. And hug somebody.
Oh,
beautiful.
Just like
Mhm.
somebody
So
else.
really feeling that love and bringing it in.
Okay, so I'm going to give hugs to everyone, and let's give those
Hugs to everyone.
etheric hugs.
And the fur babies too.
Yep.
Mhm.
There we go.
And,
And what does the card say, Jen?
yeah, so if you're okay with me reading two, I'm going to read through both of them. So let's find that one. Here we go. All right. So here's the first one. Okay, so listen with your heart, not just your ears. Are you unable to receive the information coming to you from your relations? What are you choosing not to hear? Your loved ones have valuable information for you. Listen to them when they speak, for it honors them and your own sacred journey. Listening is a great skill that many humans have forgotten. Creator gave you two ears so that you can use both parts of your mind, the sacred masculine logic and the sacred feminine empathy, to hear what is being communicated to you. Are you letting only one part of your mind listen for you? This creates imbalance and prevents the circle of understanding from completing its path. When you are in balance, the two parts of your mind work simultaneously and your heart opens. True listening comes from an attentive and receptive heart. Let compassion balance your mind and listen carefully, grandchild.
Beautiful.
And let's find the other one. Hug somebody. Are you keeping others at arm's length, grandchild? It might be time to relax your guard a little. All beings are connected through the great circle of life and capable of great love. Let this love in. You are meant to live in a community so you can express this love to others. Remember your sacred lineage and reach out to your relations. They need your love as much as you need theirs. Let them in. Your arms are made for enfolding life. When infused with love in your heart, your arms can make a sacred circle. Allow someone into the sacred circle that only you can create. You are safe, grandchild. Be strong in yourself and know your boundaries while being gentle with the world. It's okay to touch someone. Embrace those who will understand the honor you have bestowed upon them. Are you afraid to share your physical space? Remember, it is yours to share. You are a powerful being. When you wrap your arms around someone with love in your heart, you are declaring yourself a part of creation. Embrace the world. Embrace yourself.
Oh, that is beautiful. What
Beautiful.
card is that? I love it.
It is phenomenal. It's seeds from the sacred feminine.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan says it reminds him of what his grandfather used to say: God gave us two ears and one mouth, so we should listen twice as hard as we speak.
Yep. I love that.
He said nice. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a recipe for being, bringing intimacy, not necessarily romantic intimacy. I just think intimacy into relationships, right? Give somebody a hug and open your heart and listen with your heart. So beautiful. So thank you so much, Maryanne, for joining us again. So honored. Such beautiful energy, and we appreciate that.
Grateful.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Jen, as always, for
Thank you, Jen.
being with us and sharing your wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
I really see your Lyran. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, she's so Lyran.
You know, woo!
She's very Lyran. We knew each other during that lifetime, actually. I was Pleiadian. She came to my planet to be with me afterwards. So yeah, we're connected. But and we probably knew you in the Egypt lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
We spent a fair bit of time there too. So beautiful.
And just to Jonathan, I'm glad the card spoke to you. And I think these messages come in and they always seem to hit right where we are at and what we need in the moment. And so being able to, again, so much of life tells us to not be who we are, and we have to come back home to ourselves.
Yeah, Exactly.
I guess that is where I know you, because I am involved with the Mintakan, the Elohim angels, and I had a lifetime in the Mintakan area of Orion, so I know that's where I know you from, Jonathan.
Awesome.
He's awesome. He's in. He has his own show on TikTok. Well, I'm not sure if it's on TikTok, but I know it's on on YouTube. And he is in Hawaii.
One of my
So,
is Mahalo. I love, that's my Lemurian roots.
yeah. So he has a show live in Maui. So
Wonderful.
Awesome.
Yeah, as a guest, I would love to come on.
absolutely. Thank you, Jonathan, for joining us. And YouTube only, he says. Okay, fair.
Good to know.
Thank you all for joining us, and we wish you a wonderful, wonderful. Oh yes, many lives in Lemuria. There we go. Very much.
Awesome.
So we wish you much love for the week, everyone, and breathe, drink lots of water, get lots of rest. It is the week for this.
Many bright blessings to everyone.
Bye now.